2 warm-up exercises. First one is a 15-second mindful smile. And the difference between a regular smile and a mindful smile is, of course, being totally present while we're smiling. So connecting to the body, the thoughts, the emotions, and the breath while we're smiling. Big smile, 15 seconds. Okay, and now warm-up exercise number 2 is 2-minute mindful breathing practice. After that, I'll introduce today's 8-minute practice. Mindful breathing, beginning with bringing the attention to the breath as we breathe in and out through the nose. Very simple yet very effective practice. Breathing in and out through the nose. Coordinating the movement of the belly with the breath. So on the in-breath, the belly is expanding. And what I mean by the belly is that lower abdomen below the belly button, expanding on the in-breath, and then coming back down on the out-breath. So coordinating the belly and the breath. Breathing. Mindful breathing is a great way to connect to the body. The body is that doorway into the present moment experience. It's important to stay connected to the body. Breathing. It's very easy to get disconnected when we experience stress. So mindfulness reverses that situation by reconnecting, therefore bringing down the stress levels and balancing out the autonomic nervous system. Staying with the breath. Part of the practice is noticing when the attention wanders away from the breath. So number 1, we're noticing where does it go? Maybe it goes to a part of the body, some area in the body. Or maybe you're feeling an emotion or a thought. And then bringing the attention back to the breath. That repetition is a good thing. Coming and going, building that mindful muscle. Fully experiencing the breath as it is in this moment. Okay, so now that we're all warmed up, let's move into today's 8-minute practice. And today's practice is going to be mindful thinking. This is a real big deal because in our modern culture, so many of us have this situation where we're obsessively thinking. I think there's a recent study that says that we have over 20,000 thoughts per day. Of course, the vast majority of them are unconscious. But the mind running wild is a situation that lots of people can identify with. And so by practicing mindful thinking, we can actually slow down the thoughts and eventually even stop the thoughts. And then at that point, we're able to actually decide when we want to think and when we don't want to think. Believe it or not, that's a possibility and is actually quite common with people who practice on a regular basis. So, contrary to what is usually done to slow down thoughts and so forth, which is pushing them away and blocking them out, mindfulness does just the opposite. It rolls out the welcome mat and it embraces and welcomes all of those thoughts. And in doing that, it decreases the resistance. And there's an old saying, what you resist persists. And so we put that into practice with mindfulness. So we're not going to resist our thoughts. We're going to have the same goal in that we want to slow them down and even stop them and then bring them under our conscious control where we can choose when to think and when not to think. But we're going to do it in a very different way than what most people have been taught over many, many years. So, coming to a comfortable position, lining up the head, the neck, and the spine, eyes open or closed, or glancing down, embodying that sense of alert attention and self-acceptance, accepting who we are in this moment. Acceptance is the gateway into the experiences of compassion and love, gratitude, kindness, all of those good things that we want to experience begins with accepting who we are in this moment. And now shifting our attention to thinking. And here's an opportunity to use your creativity and imagination because everybody experiences thinking in a different way. Some people see thoughts, hear thoughts, feel thoughts, lots of different ways of doing it. So identify for you how you experience thinking, and then just stay with those thoughts. Notice as they come and go. How does it work best for you? Just follow your imagination, your creativity, connecting to the thoughts, putting that welcome mat out for them, and noticing what happens from moment to moment. Thinking. What do you experience when you bring your attention to a thought? How long does that thought stay with you before it makes room for the next thought? And if you get lost in thought, so to speak, go down that rabbit hole, you can use the breath to bring yourself back to the present moment and then shift your attention over to thinking again. Very important practice, since so many of us have an overabundance of thoughts. Letting those thoughts come and go. Another way to keep your attention there is every once in a while you can silently say to yourself, thinking. You find that your attention will go right back to thinking. Also, noticing the quality of thoughts. Are they pleasant? Are they unpleasant? Or are they just neutral? And fully accepting whatever category they fall into. Opening up to experiencing pleasant, unpleasant, and neutral thoughts. Mindfulness is about being open to experience anything in the present moment, regardless of the quality, pleasant, unpleasant, or neutral. Thinking. Staying with that thinking. You might notice from time to time that there's a space between two thoughts. And part of this practice is allowing yourself to explore that space. What's that space like? Is there a sense of stillness there and quiet? That sense of being, that ground of being before that next thought comes around? You might find that as you look for those thoughts, that they tend to disappear. Some people experience that. And if not, then just staying with these thoughts as they cascade one to another to another. Really connecting deeply with that experience. Are they thoughts of the past, thoughts of the future, or just thoughts of this present moment? Really connecting deeply to the experience of thinking. Are you watching the thoughts, feeling the thoughts, hearing the thoughts, How do you experience thinking? And now let's open our eyes and continue to practice for a few more moments. It's good to finish each practice with the eyes open. It sort of sets the intention for bringing this same level of attention, this same mindfulness into everyday activity. So it creates a seamless transition between this formal practice, meditation practice, and our everyday experiences. And so we want to set that intention so that we can be mindful, be present 24/7, rather than just being mindful when we're doing this kind of formal practice. So eyes are open, continuing to practice. All right, so that's our 8-minute practice for the day, mindful thinking. Let's see, Jenny's got a question. How do I sustain my motivation to practice? That's a tough one. Everybody has a different impetus, a different motivation that brought them to practice. And I find over the years that the people who come to this kind of practice with a sincere motivation to transform, to make their life better, to heal, to experience wellness, to experience peace and compassion and empathy and all those good things, I find that they have a high level of motivation. And so they usually stay with the practice because the beginning motivation was there and the correct motivation was there that brought them to it in the first place. And then there's other kinds of motivation too, which maybe doesn't create the same deep level of commitment and motivation. And so it's harder for those people to stay with the practice over a period of time. And they're numerous. It's hard for me to even think of all the different other reasons why people come to the mindfulness practice. Could be anything, but as long as your motivation is sincere and you're looking to help yourself and others, then you should be able to sustain that high level of commitment to keep practicing on a regular basis. And regular practice is really the key to that transformative process, to really being able to experience life moment by moment. So there you have it for today. We're going to finish up with our 15-second mindful smile, starting right now. And there it is. So we're done for today, and I'll see you next time. In the meantime, be well and take care.